Hello everybody, welcome to Glass Half Dead. Today we're doing an unboxing of Gitzog World Killer and also a complete review of the Ork Commander. Yeah, that's right. I was going to say Ork Kill Team, but that is wrong. Okay, let's check this guy out, because by now some of you may already have the Commander's book, but you may not have purchased any Commanders yet, preferring to wait and see what you get. So, firstly, you get the model. That's a bit of a shocker, I realise. And a 40mm base. For anyone that hasn't seen this model, personally, I think it's really cool. But then I think all of the orcs and their aesthetic in general is really nice. Big fan of it. I like how it's just such a chunky model. Okay. We then find ourselves with the rest of the box. This actually, unfortunately, doesn't involve any fluff. I had assumed that this neat little booklet that they had would have given us a page of whatever fluff, but doesn't do it. So, instead we get this. As we now know, these are our aura tokens and our psychic tokens, but these are only aura tokens because the orcs don't have any psychers. And isn't that just such a shame? Because I think we can all agree that we all wanted a weird boy. Oh well. Instead, hold on, it's here somewhere. I'll find it. This is the man himself's data card. It's focused, okay. So obviously because he's a named guy, you can't change any of this. This is just how he comes. You've got the combi weapon with rocket launcher, which is and you know, let's note first off, he's still BS5. There is still no orc with a better than BS5. Assault one with a rocket launcher, there's no point taking it. Like, you know, it sucks, but the rocket launcher just isn't worth it. If they'd given him the alternative option of the combi weapon with Scorcher, he would instantly be a better model. Anyway. Attack squig, for those that haven't seen the attack squig yet, so each time this model fights, it can make 2 additional attacks with this weapon. So he's got 4 attacks. This effectively gives him 6 attacks, but 2 of them are at strength 4 instead of 6, AP -1. He does have the Power Claw, which is nice, and it's the same standard Power Claw as the rest of the game. It doesn't give you commander traits, which is interesting, so you can actually choose your own traits for him. So he is customizable to a degree. For those of you confused for a moment, traits are... wait for it. They're not the specialism. They're this here. This is the trait bit. So you can give him Iron Will, which means he'll automatically pass nerve tests, etc, etc. Those are the commander traits. Not these. These are the specialisms. So what we have here is the fluff. They decided to put it onto a card, which I think is a very odd choice, but that's what they've done. There you go. You can see that. Feel free to freeze it if you want. This is him. This is his specialism. Because of course, with these named guys, you can't choose a specialism. You have to use this. So, level 1, 86 points. Add 1 to this model's toughness. Okay. Cool. Although it does say already included in profile, because obviously you can only ever use this with him, so it should be in his profile. Level 2, bumping up to 106 points. This model does not suffer penalties to its hit rolls due to its target being obscured. Now, cool, but this is an orc. You don't care. Basically useless. Level 3, 126 points. Crumping time. Add 1 to this model's attack characteristic in a battle round in which it charged. I'm okay with that. That sounds good. That effectively makes him a mini zealot. For 20 points. Level 4, 151 points here. Looter. If this model was in your kill team, and not out of action when you make your casualty rolls, roll a d6. On a 5-up, you gain 1 material. That's good, I suppose. However, at 151 points, he's basically your only model. For anybody that has yet to pick up a Commander expansion, Mega War, Custom Force Field, and Docs Tools are all in the Kill Team rulebook. So everybody has these if you have the Commander's book. We only get these two, which are not in the command book. Are they any good? Because we are going to cover these ones when we go to the command book. Right. Let's go with this one first. Ork Tactic, Warboss Tactic. 1 command point, breaking heads. Surprised they didn't say heads. But anyway. Use this tactic at the start of any phase. Pick another friendly model within 3 inches of a Warboss from your kill team that is not shaken. That model suffers 1 mortal wound, and friendly models within 6 inches of the Warboss are no longer shaken. Remove their shaken tokens. Okay, so in all fairness, Orcs do have a pretty low leadership. They are going to become shaken. From that perspective, this is a useful card to make up for the fact that your kill team has low leadership. I can't fault it as a card that is going to help with the problem that your Orcs have. And obviously you're only going to put this on a boy or even a Gretchen who's, 3 points? So you don't care if he dies. You're effectively spending 3 points from your total of 200 to unshake everyone within 6. It's not terrible, but it's not amazing. But okay. Duff them up. 1 command point. Now this is an aura tactic. Use this tactic at the start of the battle round if your kill team includes a commander. So this is just commander. All of the Orc commanders can use this, not just the Warboss. That model gains the following aura ability until the end of the battle round. Okay. As long as this model is not shaken, add 1 to the strength characteristic of friendly models that are within 3 inches of this model. Okay, so that's going to take your average Orc boy up to strength 5. So it's not terrible. Suddenly he's wounding Marines on 3s instead of 4s. It's not bad. However, they do have to be within 3 inches. So you're going to get tops 3 or 4 boys with that. Not bad. And for only 1 command point, okay. And that's it, guys. So for anybody wondering whether or not you have to buy the model commander expansions as well as commander book, so far from the 2 that I have opened, I am still sticking to no. The extra tactics that they have been given aren't amazing. And equally, if we go back to this here, I don't think this is better than being able to make your own commander from the, what's the word, guys? Specialisms in here. That's my view. So, as crazy as this may sound, if you're a completionist, you're screwed. Obviously, if you're a completionist, you're spending money. But for someone that just wants to get into the game, you don't need this. If there are any Orc players out there, you don't need to buy this. You can just get the book. However, let's check out the book. Okay, boys. This is the Warboss. We're going to cover him first because he comes first in the rulebook. Yeah. So, let's go straight to the tactics as that's what we've just talked about. He can do a Mega War. 2 command points. Now, it's an aura tactic. So you use it at the start of the battle round. Your kill team includes a Warboss. Yep. That model gains the following aura ability until the end of the battle round. Okay. So for anybody curious, you're going to play this at the initiative phase. Well, technically, just before the initiative phase. You will play this, and it then lasts for the whole of that round. That's how aura tactics work. So, 2 command points. As long as this model is not shaken, you may roll 3d6 instead of 2d6 when making charge rolls for friendly models within 6 inches of this model, and discard the lowest result. And don't forget, all Orcs have here we go, and they can reroll charges. So this is actually, if you're running a melee orc team, and you probably are, this ability allows you to effectively, I think, and I haven't done any maths here, any math hammer guys out there, it must up your average of a charge from 7 up to like 10. I mean, you shouldn't be afraid of making a 10-inch charge, as you can reroll it and you get a third dice that you can discard. That's pretty good. You are going to be able to get a lot of models into melee. Turn 1, turn 2. Well, if you can't get them into melee turn 2, you've messed up. But you might be able to get people into melee turn 1. This helps, of course, with the fact that orcs are the super slow, with only a 5-inch move. I think it's good, and I think it helps the orcs. And as we are now playing all games at 200 points, this could be a devastating charge. I've charged orc boys into Grey Knights, and the boys just got wrecked. However, because you now have the extra points to spend, you can dedicate, a small team of boys, but make them your elite guys, make them a boss knob, and, I don't know, 4 burners, whatever, to be this guy's little mega war. He charges along with all of them, turn 1, you are probably going to get most of them into combat, and that is a big hit if you manage to get all of them into combat. Far more effective than if you only manage to get a couple of boys in. Anyway, let's go over his stats. 5-inch move, hitting on 2s. Well, hitting on 2s in the fight phase. Hitting on 5s in the shooting phase. Don't shoot with him. Why would you? Strength 6, toughness 5, wound 6, attacks 4, leadership 8, save 4 up, max 1. So obviously save 4 up's good. However, big issue with him is that he doesn't actually have a invulnerable save. A lot of champions, commanders, have invulnerable saves. Don't get me wrong, 6 wounds is great. However, there's also becoming more and more multiple damage weapons as well with the commander's expansion. So that's, if you pit him against another commander, that's not as good as it sounds. And in fact, if we have a little look down here at how much damage he can put, or how many wounds he can put out, there's only the Power Claw that's putting out D3 wounds. The Big Chopper 2. Everything else is 1. Although with 4 attacks, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. You could still one-shot a commander with him. If you were to do that, I would recommend attack with the attack squig first, because it says each time a model within attack squig fights, it can make 2 additional attacks. I assume you are just declaring, yes, he is fighting, and then you're choosing to fight with the attack squig first. I don't think there's actually an order of operation there. So you can get your, potential of 2 wounds, knock that off the enemy commander, and then 4 attacks with your Power Claw, potentially taking them down to being able to roll a D3 on their flesh wound. Possibly good, possibly good. We can ignore the combat weapon with rocket launcher. We've already talked about that with Gitzog. It sucks. Combat weapon with Scorcher, that's the way to go, obviously. However, do note that it costs you 8 points to take on this. Equally, if you want a Power Claw, that's 13 points. And the attack squig is 6. Don't get me wrong, I like this tactic. I think there's a place for him in your Orc kill team. However, okay, he's good. Okay, I'm going to say he's good on his own in a vacuum. And I've looked through all of the specialist things. I know what those mean, but that's for another video. Again, I assume that most of you probably have your commander book now, so you can check that yourself. But I will also do a video covering those. But I wanted to get the unboxings done first, because that's more expensive to decide whether or not to buy a model. He's not bad. He's not bad. He's not as good as other commanders that are focused on melee. That's my opinion on him. I might be wrong. He might be a complete powerhouse, and I'm just reading the rules wrong, which is totally possible. Orcs, even though I've attempted to make them work, I haven't, because they're not my thing. So annoying to say that, but I just can't get them to work, even though they should. But that's me. That's on me. They're not a bad kill team necessarily. They don't work with me. So anyway, that's the Warboss. I think is a solid option. In fact, I think it's the best option. Let's find out why. Next up, we have the Big Mech. So interestingly, to play the Ork tactic with him, it's a Big Mech aura, you have to take a custom force field with him, which is fine. But that's the first time I think we've seen a tactic that requires you to take a certain war gear with you. And I've got no issues with that. That's really cool. It's thematic. It's like taking the custom force field as a bit of war gear here allows you to, actually use it, turn it on for 2 command points, admittedly. However, issue here, to take the custom force field, let's read it. This model may either replace its slugger with a custom mega slugger or shock attack gun, or it may take a custom force field. If you take the custom force field that gives you this iconic Big Mech ability, you can't take the big shotgun or the shock attack gun. Now, the shock attack gun's ridiculous. Let's read it. Basically, if you're taking a Big Mech, you are taking it for the shock attack gun or for the custom force field. He's still hitting on 5s. I'm going to say that again. Say 4 up, fine, no invulns, whatever. Shock attack gun, 60-inch range. Heavy D6. Strength, 2d6. It's really orky, it's quite fun, everybody likes it. Obviously, it does mean that you could potentially have strength 2 weapon. But again, average, you're going to be strength 7. So if we assume average, you're still wounding most things on 3s. Or you're wounding Marines on 3s, Guardsmen 2s. AP -5, so nothing gets an armor save. Apart from invulns, obviously. Damage D3. Before firing this weapon, roll once to determine the strength of all of its shots. If the result is 11+, do not make wound rolls. Instead, each attack that hits causes D3 mortal wounds. That's huge, that's great, that's amazing. However, you're still hitting on 5s. And there's no way to improve that in the Orkish tactic. So effectively you're hitting on 6s, let's be honest. However, with the 60-inch range, who cares, right? They're probably almost always going to be within half distance. So although it's a great gun with a lovely random orkiness to it with the strength, you're hitting on 5s, probably 6s. It's not reliable. I mean, that's the issue. It's not reliable. But what happens if you take the custom force field? Oh, also, it's 27 points. Obviously, that's insane. However, your Big Mech is potentially only 20 points. But possibly 60. So what happens if you take the custom force field? So firstly, it's 0 points. You don't have to spend points for that. So it's a aura. Beginning of the battle round till the end of the battle round. As long as this model is not shaken, friendly models within 6 inches of this model have a 5-up invuln save against shooting attacks. So again, similar to the Mega War, if you've got that, you're going to want a lot of people gathered around your Big Mech. Don't get me wrong, a 5-up invuln save is great. And it does, normally Orcs only have a 6-up and gets removed by AP, so a 5-up invuln's the best thing they've ever had. But, well, okay, let's not be too down on it. It does double your survivability of all of your boys within 6 inches of the KFF. Is that good? Is that worth it? 2 CP? Maybe. So you cram as many models in there right next to the Big Mech. Turn 1. Because again, similar to this, you want to get into combat. You want to charge. This gives you the opportunity to weather a little bit more of the bullet storm that's coming your way. So it has a place. It has a place, and it will give you a very cheap commander, which is good. I will also note, sorry, the custom Mega Slugger he has is similar to a Slugger in that it's 12 inches, pistol 1, but then it's strength 8, AP -3, damage D3. However, never use it, because abilities on an unmodified hit roll of 1, the bearer is taken out of action. Guys, I like silly orky abilities. That's just stupid. Like, I'm not even going to discuss it. It's just... Anyway. It is free, though. 0 points. You can just upgrade your Slugger to... Oh, sorry, it's 4 points. Oh, that's fine. Okay, Pain Boy. Save 6 up, whereas the other two had 4s. Web skill 3s. Web skill 5s. On with a Power Claw and Urty Syringe. Power Claw, same thing we've seen before. Strength ×2, giving him a strength of 10. AP -3, damage D3. Subtract 1 from the hit roll, so he's only hitting on 4s. Urty Syringe. Strength user, AP 0, damage 1. This weapon always wounds on a roll of 2+. Situationally useful. And you do have 4 attacks, so... I mean... The thing is, you've got the Urty Syringe, which wounds on a 2+. But your Power Claw is hitting on strength 10. Anyway, Doc's Tools. Aura Tactic. Beginning of the battle round until end of the battle round. As long as this model is not shaken, roll a d6 each time a friendly model within 3 inches of this model loses a wound. Now it's only within 3 inches, whereas the other 2 aura abilities have been within 6. On a 6+, that wound is not lost. Cool. And then it has to say, if you have a similar ability, reroll once. In addition, as long as this model is not shaken at the end of the movement phase, you can remove 1 flesh wound from a friendly model within 3 inches. And it's only 1 command point. That's not bad, really. It's not bad at all. I will say that I think these 3 commanders, their 3 tactics, would work perfectly if you put them together, if you combine them. Like, they seem ideal. They seem like, and at their points costs of being relatively cheap for commanders, it feels like they should be played as a threesome. But you can't, obviously. You can only ever take a single commander in your kill team. Okay, so that's it. That is the Ork Kill Team Commander review. I think, okay, this is my verdict. Let me know what you guys think. Has this excited you for orcs? Have you seen something in there and you're like, oh my god, I'm going to run Gitzog because he's awesome, can't wait? Or you're like, oh, well, there wasn't really anything that really did anything for me there, so I'm going to move on. Let me tell you what I think. I think that there wasn't enough in there to fix orcs for me. Now, I'm not saying orcs are a weak team. We know that orcs actually won the Warhammer... Well, no, sorry. Came in top 10. I think they were placed 6th within the Warhammer World Tournament. I don't know if they placed in Nova, but... So, they're a top 10 team. Although top 10 out of 16 doesn't sound great. But considering I think 4 of the top 10 were Death Guard. Maybe more. Because Death Guard are completely broken. The long story short is, I've been trying to play orcs and make them work as a kill team for me because I really like the aesthetic. It's been October. I've been really into them. I've lost a lot of games, mainly against Grey Knights. But let's not go into that. And I think there's something there that I just don't get with their playstyle. And the commanders don't fix what I think is blocking me personally from playing them effectively. Because of that, I think I'm going to move on from orcs. Which is a shame, but there you go. Now, I may of course revisit them, because aesthetically I do quite like them. However, now that everyone has moved up to 200 points in a match, it might completely fix everything for me. I'm a guy that likes to run elite orcs, if you will. So, the burners. And that just doesn't work in 100 points. You don't have enough models because they only have t-shirt saves. I might come back to them, but for right now, I'm interested in looking at other kill teams. There you go. Guys, what do you think of the Ork commanders? Let me know. I'm really interested. Have you seen something in there that has changed your mind? Have you already used him? Are you going to tell me, actually, Glass, I've played with one of the Warbosses. I ran him bare bones. I just used his tactic, and I managed to do exactly what you said and got 5 burners and a boss knob and a commando knob into combat turn 1. I wrecked face. Has it done that? Because I could see that being a thing. 3d6 re-rolling charge. Yeah? Let me know, guys. Genuinely really interested with this one. Okay. I hope you've all enjoyed this unboxing. I hope you haven't found everything I've said too stupid. Because when doing these live unboxings, first impression stuff, I am talking off the top of my head. So, there you go. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. Glasshalf Dead, logging out.